All right, we live. Good morning, ladies and gent, Grand Rising. Come on in, man. We're gonna talk about this Diddy case some more. We're gonna expand on the verdict and all that. Need y'all to tune in. Make sure y'all smash that button upon entering the chat. And we're gonna get into it some more, man. We're gonna get into how the federal government was so messy that this case. See, they had a hard on for Diddy so much that they dropped the ball on their own case, man. So we gonna get into that. Make sure y'all come in, smash the like button. We're gonna get into some things. We're gonna break some things down. We're gonna get into some commentary on some of the aftermaths of the trial, some of the chatter through the media, through the media. So come on in. Shout out to y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. But we about to get into it. The verdict. Man, the federal government, man, they had a hard on for Diddy so much, man. They dropped the ball on this one, bro. I'm gonna be honest. They try to convict him on some nonsense, as far as with the RICO and all that, and they just didn't have a strong enough case to get him. I mean, I believe that this was a personal target. Like Diddy was a personal target for someone, and it just didn't go the way they thought it was gonna go. I mean, they tried to pull out all the guns on Diddy, and it just didn't flow the way they was gonna go. And tell you the truth, man, I don't even think they done with him. I mean, then you have a bunch of civil cases that he still has pending against him. You still have more people coming forward. With civil lawsuits against Diddy. And I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like the prosecution was weak as hell. The federal government did a poor job investigating this nigga. And yeah, I'm tell you the truth, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to put an attempt on this dude life just because they couldn't get him the way they wanted to get him. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, bro. It might be an attempt on this dude life because they didn't get him the way they wanted to get him. First of all, they didn't really break him. They didn't break him. He's still worth like over $400 or $500 million. They didn't break him. They didn't he didn't flip on nobody. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't get the charges that they wanted to stick to him. The bigger charges they didn't work. They didn't stick. So I mean, he got the transportation of the prostitution, but that's not a life sentence. They wanted him to do life, and they wanted him to do life in prison with no parole or none of that. But they investigation was messy. They they the evidence and shit didn't add up, and a bunch of people that came in there with their testimonies, that shit didn't work because a lot of them was with the program, and a lot of the sex that was going on was consensual. Wasn't nobody held against their will. There was nobody forced to do any damn thing, and the evidence showed that through the text messages, through the social media engagements that the assistant was writing, the Capricorn Clark testimony where she claimed Diddy tried to kidnap her and all, the arson with the Kid Cudi car and all. None of that shit added up, bro. And I'm gonna be honest. I think he shouldn't serve no time. I think he should be acquitted of all charges based off the fact that the federal government, they didn't have nothing on him. They dropped the ball with this case, bro. I'm gonna just be 1,000 with it. They dropped the ball with this case. They was sloppy. They was messy. They brought all them weird ass testimonies in there. They tried to use the Cassie tape from the hotel. Statute of limitations ran out on that, so y'all dropped the ball. Like y'all, like to be honest, they wanted to use that Cassie tape to basically convince the jury that Diddy did all those things that they was charging him with, and that shit didn't work. Sorry, It didn't work. Y'all try to use that tape. First of all, the statute of limitations ran out on that tape. And Cassie never went to the police. So which in the things that came out about her in the trial made her look more bad than anything. Her testimony didn't even make Diddy look bad. Her testimony made her own self look bad. With the audios coming out and the text messages and the emails and shit and all the, you know, her basically, you know, being part of the whole freak off conspiracy thing, and it didn't make Diddy look bad at all. And the testimony of the prostitute, the nigga, the Punisher, his testimony actually helped Diddy case. It didn't help the prosecutors at all. What he said in his testimony actually persuaded more towards Diddy's side. He said, listen, Diddy paid me to come in there and have sex with his girl. When I went in there, was no cameras, wasn't no drugs, wasn't no alcohol, wasn't nothing. I mean, Diddy was, you know, walking back and forth on some weird stuff and doing that, but there's no crime in that. And then he said when he was done, while he was in the middle of, you know, boinking Cassie, Diddy slapped the thousands of dollars on the bed. He was walking in and out of the room and walking back and forth and just acting, you know, goofy and shit. He probably was high and goofy, but actually, Punisher said he got hired to come in there and do his job, and he left. It wasn't no, you know, it wasn't nothing extra to that. It wasn't no guns in there, no drugs, alcohol, nothing. So actually, Punisher's testimony actually helped Diddy out. And I think he said that in an interview recently. I think it was yesterday. He said that in an interview. I forgot what. I think he was on. I don't think it was Kumo's show. He was on one of them mainstream media platforms, and he said my testimony actually helped Diddy out, which it did. So the federal government dropped the ball on this case, bro, and they didn't get Diddy the way they wanted to. He's still wealthy. He's probably not going to serve that much time. Like I heard Judge Mathis say, he a judge, so he know more than anything. He said with the charges that Diddy got with the transportation, he said he don't see Diddy doing no more than 2 to 3 years. If he get, if the judge decide to give him time, he don't see Diddy doing more than 2 to 3 years. If they decide to run those 2 counts concurrent, then he don't see Diddy doing more than 2 to 3 years for each of those. If they keep them things separated and he has to serve for the 2 counts 4 years at the most, and he already got most of that time served anyway. So the feds, y'all was sloppy on this. The prosecution, y'all didn't have shit, nothing. They ain't have nothing, bro. So we want to get into some of these outcomes of the trial. I think this one right here was after Diddy was denied bail and his lawyers and all that came out. His defense team came out and spoke. So we're gonna get into this, y'all. Make sure y'all click double tap the screen, like this video, share this live stream, and let's get into it. Let me know if we good on the audio. Oh, hold on, y'all. My bad. I shared this. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me share this real quick. Make sure we good. All right, hold on. Gotta share this real quick. All right, here we go. All right, let's get into it.
Today is a win. Today is a victory of all victories for Sean Combs.
I want to thank the jury for putting such great care into this case.
Tonight, Sean Diddy Combs' legal team celebrating outside the New York federal courthouse. Just hours earlier, Combs stunned by the jury's decision.
After the judge had left the bench, Sean Combs fell to his knees in prayer. He addressed his family saying, "I'm coming home, baby. I'm coming home."
I actually cried when he did that because I know him and I know how he felt at that moment, knowing that 12 people had your life in their hands and they just gave you back your life.
Combs, once one of the most powerful names in entertainment, now a convicted felon and still behind bars tonight. A judge denying him bail, but the mogul beating the 3 most serious charges against him.
Sean Combs was convicted of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. What does that mean? That means that he paid an escort, an entertainer, to engage in sexual acts with each of those victims, Cassie as well as Jane, and that he did it across state lines.
The jury acquitting him for racketeering conspiracy and 2 sex trafficking charges.
He won in the sense that he is not facing a lifetime sentence.
ABC News exclusive video shows Combs' sons, Christian and Justin, celebrating the jury's decision. Just after the verdict came in.
We love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home.
Douglas Wigdor, the attorney for Cassie Ventura, whose now settled lawsuit against Combs, launched the criminal case, speaking to my Nightline co-anchor Juju Chang.
Combs's supporters, his family, have been celebrating today. They see this as something of a victory. How do you see it?
The way he leads his life, even the things that he's admitted to, the things that we've seen with our own eyes of him beating a helpless woman, kicking her while she's on the floor, isn't the sort of person who is a role.
Yeah, we're gonna get into his interview too. This is Cassie's lawyer. He CNN interviewed him, so we're gonna get into that as well. I got that queued up and ready to go, and I got a couple more things queued up and ready to go. But the RICO, bro, I'm telling you, the feds had a hard on for this boy so bad, man, that they dropped the ball. Like, they should have known that those testimonies that them people they brought in there to testify against Diddy, those testimonies just was not strong enough to convict this man and get him life. Now, we know the feds got a 98% conviction rate, so I believe they trumped up a lot of those charges just to get something to stick. They really wanted him on that racketeering, and if they couldn't get him on that, the next would have been that sex trafficking. But the thing about it is, in order to get him for racketeering, Diddy would have to be profiting off of prostitution, him actually selling Cassie, not actually hiring prostitutes to sleep with Cassie. He would actually have to be pimping Cassie out and taking money in, and that's where the sex trafficking would come in at. But Diddy's not a pimp. Diddy wasn't getting paid for, I'm saying, pimping Cassie out. It was the opposite. He was actually paying money out, basically to satisfy his free calls, bro. To satisfy his, the lifestyle he was living. A lot of y'all say the Freako, not the Rico. You know what I mean? And that's true though. It was the Freako, not the Rico, bro. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't using Bad Boy Enterprises to do that. So the feds dropped the ball, man. But we gonna continue commentating over these over these reports. So I need y'all to double tap the screen and like this video, and let's continue.
Model to their family. And I do hope he gets the help that he needs, but I sort of think that that's probably not going to happen. He'll feel emboldened by this.
Well, Combs is not coming home just yet. The verdict represents a stunning fall from grace for the hip-hop mogul turned entrepreneur. He had hits going back decades like I'll Be Missing You.
Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
And Bad Boy for Life.
We can't be stopped now, cause it's Bad Boy for Life.
Also launching business ventures like Sean John Clothing, Ciroc Vodka, and Revolt TV. A titan once thought to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars by Forbes. Federal prosecutors allege he used his business empire to sexually abuse and exploit women. They also accused him of using his staff to arrange travel for individuals to engage in paid sexual encounters. Combs vehemently denied all charges. A jury of New Yorkers, 8 men and 4 women, deliberating for about a dozen hours, initially unable to reach a verdict Tuesday on the first count of racketeering, then returning this morning before reaching their decision.
RICO is the agreement between 2 or more people
to effectuate a crime through an enterprise.
They didn't
Sean
have
Combs
it.
was the only person charged. There was no one to actually say this was a criminal enterprise, and that might.
That's what I'm saying. The feds dropped the ball, bro. They couldn't prove Rico. A one-man Rico. I'm surprised R. Kelly's still sitting in jail for a one-man Rico. Like, none of his bodyguards, no assistants, nobody was charged with anything. Like, a Rico was one or two or three, more than 2 or 3 people part of an organization. Diddy acted alone. Well, they charged him alone, but other than that, they couldn't prove Rico. So they had to throw that out. They had to throw Rico out because they basically saying he acted alone. They had them weak ass people coming in with those testimonies. They testimonies wasn't strong enough. A lot of them was and proved that a lot of them was assisting him and helping him set up free calls. With free calls is not even a crime. That's why he only got charged with the transportation, because all the other stuff they couldn't prove. And I seen somebody say the jury messed up. Now the jury ain't mess up. The jury went by with the evidence that was presented. The jury didn't mess up at all. The federal prosecutors messed up trying to basically make a moral decision against this nigga. They try to make a moral judgment by using the Cassie tape against Diddy to make all the charges stick, and they messed up because they couldn't prove Rico and they couldn't prove sex trafficking. So the federal prosecutors messed up, not nobody else. The jurors only made the decisions based off the fact of the evidence that was presented. That's all they can go off of is the evidence. And they just didn't have the evidence to convict them for Rico and sex trafficking. Sorry. I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbled. And that's the system. That's the justice system. I mean, what can you really do about it?
Not have been enough for the jury.
Cracks in Combs' glamorous persona first surfaced when his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed a civil lawsuit against him in late 2023, which he settled the next day, paying Ventura $20 million with no admission of wrongdoing. 6 months later, this shocking video from a hotel surveillance camera depicting Combs physically assaulting Cassie.
I hate seeing that damn
bottom.
That Cassie tape.
I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
But that hotel footage became crucial evidence at trial, along with Cassie's 4 days of emotional testimony. Combs' ex-girlfriend describing in detail his alleged physical assaults, threats, and incidents known as free calls. She said Combs first proposed the encounters that he called voyeurism when he would watch me have intercourse and sexual activity with a third party, specifically another man. Within the
which came out in the trial that she was with it. I don't want to hear that she was doing that to satisfy Diddy. Nah, Cassie was on her freak shit way before Diddy. She even started dating Diddy. You know what I mean? The new pictures was out there. You know what I mean? She was with it. We seen the evidence of her actually setting up the free calls, saying I can't wait for the next one. He be like, yo, you want to do a freak off this weekend? Hell yeah, I want to do a freak off this weekend. She was with it. And then she was threatening people, saying she's going to unalive people. So, you know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, she's not innocent at all. She got her $30 million, and that should have been it. I don't know why they call her weak ass to the stand. But see, I know what they did. They try to make a moral, the federal prosecutors try to make a moral decision against Diddy to make, you know what I mean, to basically make all the charges stick, and they messed up. Y'all messed up. Y'all brought them weak ass testimony people in there with them weak ass testimonies. Y'all the ones, the federal prosecutors came in there with that weak ass evidence. There's nobody to blame. Prosecutors dropped, you know what I mean? They didn't have shit on them, and they try to go after them. Like, why? If y'all know y'all ain't got shit on them, why would y'all even attempt to try to go after them? But like I said, I believe this was a situation that got out of hand, you know what I mean, on a higher level with some other folks that Diddy was dealing with. He was going against the grain. He started saying shit against certain people. He started making moves against certain people. You know what I mean? And then shit got out of hand, and this is the fate he suffered as far as you know, him us seeing them like this. And another thing, being as though the way they raided this nigga homes on 2 different coasts simultaneously at the same time, you could tell they wanted this nigga on some shit. They raided his home in Miami and his home in LA at the very same time. That takes a lot of resources. That takes a lot of planning. That takes a lot of resources. So they definitely wanted this nigga on something, but what did they get? They didn't get shit. They didn't find nothing. They didn't get nothing. And I mean, I don't know if they was looking for some freak off tapes from, you know what I mean, like some secret freak off tapes, but they didn't find them. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe, you know, he had some very important people, you know, on some tapes. But it comes to find out Diddy was just acting alone and doing his own freak off shit on his own. Like you don't even hear about any other celebrities being around in the freak offs. All this shit that came out about Diddy and the freak offs was just him satisfying his own, you know, his own shit, his own lifestyle. It wasn't no other celebrities around. When he booked these prostitutes, it was just him and Cassie or whatever, the Jane Doe, whoever the Jane Doe was. It wasn't no other celebrities around. Because a lot of these other celebrities was doing their own freak offs. See, that's another thing too. Like they make it look like that Diddy was just doing this shit. And this is like typical Hollywood lifestyle shit. Look at T.I. and Tiny. Shit came out about them, you know what I mean, having their own little freak offs that they, you know, it's consensual shit. But T.I. and Tiny was having their own little freak offs. So you think it just stops with Diddy and goddamn T.I. and Tiny and shit like that? Nah, this is typical Hollywood lifestyle shit. Freak off, drugs, alcohol, murder here and there if they have to. You know what I'm saying? And that's the typical lifestyle, some Hollywood shit, bro. Yeah, there's no kids. See, a lot of people keep talking about the kid. It wasn't brought up in the Now you come on now. We talking about the federal government. If the feds had any evidence that he was abusing kids or kids being a part of, you know, they would have got him on that. We talking about the federal government. If it was that rang true about him and the children, that shit would have came out in the trial. That would have been the very first. First of all, they wouldn't have went off that from the bat. That would have been the first thing they would have went off with. Did he mess with children or having children around in the vicinity of a freak off? Nigga, the federal government would have used that alone to get this nigga. Yeah, I mean, so y'all can't keep going off of rumors and shit, bro. We sticking to the facts and what the government tried to prosecute this nigga with, the charges they try to charge him with. We going strictly off of that. All that other extra shit of the children or Kim Porter or Tupac and that shit ain't come up in the trial, so we ain't talking about that. Until they convict them on some shit that has something to do with that shit, then we could talk about that. But I ain't talking about no rumors and shit. We talk about strictly facts of the case, the charges, yeah, I mean, that the prosecution came up with in the testimonies. We going off of that. We're not going off all the other shit. You know what I mean? Until that shit come up and niggas is being prosecuted for that, then we'll be talking about that. But as far as him dealing with children and Kim Porter murder and Tupac murder and that shit ain't come up. So we ain't talk about that. But we will talk about Cassie and Cassie's role in this shit, bro. Like Cassie wasn't innocent by far shot. You know what I mean? Like she threatened to unalive niggas and her and Diddy getting into fist fights and shit. She busting the nigga lip. He busting her face and eye open. Like they was getting into some Ike and Tina shit in back of the limo type shit. Because we've seen evidence with our own eyes with Diddy with a busted lip, busted eye, walking down the street, TMZ running up on him with the camera, Cassie walking like a block ahead of this nigga. She walking fast as hell. He trailing in the back with a busted lip, like they just got in a fight. So these niggas ain't innocent. Like this shit was a toxic relationship, man. And it's the shit we see on a daily basis. I think the only reason why it's so big is because it's the celebrities. You know what I mean? We talking about Diddy and a bunch of damn celebrities. So, you know, it looks more crazy because the media attention that's being put on it. But Diddy and Cassie relationship is typical relationship shit we see on a daily basis. A toxic ass relationship that get abusive. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue, man. Let's see what else they
The
talk about.
first year of their relationship. Cassie testifying she continued to participate in freak-offs during their relationship. I knew it wasn't something I wanted to be doing, but I was in love and wanting to make him happy. I didn't feel like I had much of a choice. Didn't really know what no could turn into.
Nah, Cassie, we ain't trying to hear that shit, man. That's the one thing I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. We seen the emails and the text messages, man. You was with the freak off shit, Cassie. You was with this shit, and that's why the juries didn't, you know, that's why he didn't get convicted on sex trafficking. Like Cassie was with the bullshit, bro. Like, come on now, like. This shit crazy, bro. And she was with the shits, man. Cassie, like, she a manipulator. She a sex deviant. She liked the shit that she was doing. Like, because for the simple fact that they would ask Cassie, do you still love Diddy? And she'll say on the stand, I love what we used to be. So if you love what you and Diddy used to be, that means you love the freak off shit. You love the toxic shit that y'all was doing. You missed the lifestyle. You missed the money that you was getting. You missed the freedom of the lifestyle that you was living, that you was able to do anything you wanted to do. So why would you say I love what we used to be? That shit don't make no sense, bro. Why would she say that shit, bro? Why would she say that?
Cassie telling the court the encounters became weekly events, with Combs often recording them.
The jury saw anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes worth of freak-offs throughout the entirety of this trial. As you watch the jurors, you could see them react, raise eyebrows, cross arms. They seemed clearly uncomfortable.
Defense attorneys portrayed Cassie as a willing participant in a consensual relationship, presenting text messages that seemingly show Cassie at times initiating the freak-offs. At one point texting, freak off with a girl? Combs responding, what makes you want to do that?
Of the 12 jurors, half of them, their ages are anywhere from 51 to 74. And when it comes to understanding consent, there are very different points of view if you're talking about someone over 50, 30 to 40, and under 30. And I think that had a great impact on how this jury deliberated and came to their conclusion.
Also key to the government's case against Combs, the testimony of another former girlfriend who went by the pseudonym Jane. Over several days on the stand, Jane tearfully described her tumultuous 3-year relationship with Combs, which began in 2021 and ended when he got arrested in 2024.
You got to believe what you want. It's the last time you go and cursing at me, disrespecting me.
Jurors hearing his own words, this voice note entered into evidence by the prosecution, sent to Jane by Combs.
Jane Doe is with the shit, y'all. She's another Cassie that loved the lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? The freak offs, the freedom to be able to, you know, do whatever they wanted to do. You know what I mean? Taking care of their families, getting that money every month, going on those $500,000 shopping sprees and shit like that. Like, bro, I don't give a fuck what them niggas talk about on that stand. They love that lifestyle that they was living. And then when the shit stopped, it's mad bitch time. Now we gotta spin the block and get this nigga. When it's all over, the lifestyle stops, the money stops. Now it's mad. Now it's mad bitch day. We gotta come get this nigga. And the feds try to play off of that shit. That's the thing. The feds messed up. They try to play off of that shit. Yo, we need to get them likes up. There's over 1,000 people in here. I need y'all to double tap the screen, man. We about to get into some shit. I need y'all to double tap the screen and like this video. Share this live stream if you can. But Jane Doe and Cassie, that's what we talking about at this moment. Jane Doe and Cassie, these niggas was with the lifestyle and with the shits. It wasn't about pleasing no goddamn Diddy. They didn't care about no goddamn Diddy. All they cared about was the lifestyle that that was being provided. The career, the lifestyle, the $500,000 shopping sprees, the trips to Turks and Caicos, the yachts, the parties, car service every day. Everywhere they went, it was car service, good food, a lot of sex, drugs when they wanted to. It was the lifestyle, bro. And then when all that shit stopped, that's when they want to spend the block. That's why Cassie spent the block on that 30 million. It was the lifestyle, bro. Cassie settled down with the trainer. The lifestyle wasn't the same. She started having all these babies. The money ran low. They like, all right, well, how can we sustain this lifestyle? I mean, how can we sustain this living with us starting a family? We having children. We don't have no money. Let's go after Diddy. Let's go after Diddy, because mind y'all, it came out in trial that Cassie FaceTime the husband that she with now while having sex with Diddy in bed. She's having sex with Diddy in bed and FaceTiming this trainer nigga on the phone, bro. So, yo, that's some freaky weird shit. That's why I said Cassie and this Jane Doe shit is bullshit, and that's why them charges didn't stick, because the jury realized these motherfuckers was with it until they wasn't, provided that lifestyle anymore. The jury ain't mess up. The jury seen what the hell. They sat there the whole time and they heard all the testimonies. They seen all the evidence, and that shit didn't add up. And then it looked like these chicks is just mad because the lifestyle stopped. That's what it looked like. Then Cassie making that statement, I love what me and Sean Combs used to be. Like, you saying that shit, like, you shouldn't have said that. Listen, you shouldn't have said that shit at all. Like, you should have said, nah, I don't love him no more. I love my husband. This stupid ass bro gonna say, I love what we used to be. Our husband probably walked up out of that courtroom like, man, this dumbass bitch, man. But he cool though, because they got that 30 million. So he ain't gonna trip too much. Let's continue, man. Double smash this video. Double smash the screen, like this video, bro. We gonna continue.
You're straight flipping out on me, and I told you that you had one more time to do this. You're nuts. So be sad, go crazy.
Look, so Diddy says,
do whatever you want to do.
So this proves right here that they all be on some violent shit, toxic fighting shit, bro. Because this nigga said, you flipping out on me. I told you got one more time to do this. That's the same shit Cassie was doing. Like, they say Diddy say something slick and Cassie punch him in the face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Diddy will yell at her or say some shit that's crazy or try to grip her up or something. And she'll swing on Diddy, punch him in his eye, punch him in his lip. Like, that's what I'm saying. That relationship between them was just on some toxic shit, bro. You know what I mean? And same thing with this Jane Doe character. Same deal. Same deal. Now, I don't think he's going to get 20 years. And if they do give him 20 years based off the fact that the shit they charged him with, then it was all a setup anyway from the jump. The federal prosecution had it out for this nigga. The federal government wanted this nigga. They wanted him in jail. They want him broke possibly. And if and then possibly he still can get an attempt on his life. So I don't really think he's scot-free yet, because if they want to put an attempt on this nigga life, they will do that. We just seen Tory Lanez get stabbed up 12 times in jail. We done seen R. Kelly. They done hired an Aryan Nation hitman basically to kill R. Kelly in jail, and he exposed that. But then after the Aryan Nation dude exposed it, they try to poison R. Kelly through his medicine. So niggas still, Diddy still ain't scot-free, because they could still put an attempt on his life if they want to. You know what I'm saying? Just because they wasn't able to get him in jail and get life, get him that life sentence, his life's still in danger. Because we know this nigga pissed off some very important people, bro. I believe the Diageo shit has something to do with it, but I don't think the buck stopped at Diageo. I think it was some other key players, some other higher up key players that he was going against. Because remember, he started talking that revolt shit. We need to start our own black party. You know what I mean? When you get to the top, there's a war at the top. You know what I mean? Going to war with other people at the top. And he starts speaking out and starts saying shit. So I believe he rubbed some people the wrong way, bro. And they wanted this nigga real bad. So for the simple fact that they didn't get a life sentence out of this nigga, they still can put an attempt on his life, bro. And we know that for a fact. We seen Epstein get hung in his cell. Tory Lanez got stabbed up 12 times in the jail. They didn't poison R. Kelly medicine. They had rushed him off to the hospital. He was damn near having a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue, though.
Okay, I don't deserve your.
Let's continue.
The defense pushing back on Jane, pointing out that she benefited from Combs' financial support. I hope she's having a nice day. But you know where she's doing it? In a house he's paying for. Mark Agnifilo, one of Combs' defense.
And that's another thing, too, y'all. That's another thing. But after Jane Doe testimony up, that Diddy was still paying for her rent. She was still getting money, stipends and all that. She was still getting allowance, and he was still paying her rent up until 2024, until he got busted. So that's what that's what I'm saying, bro. They effed this case up. This shit was messy. The federal prosecution effed up. They brung these people in there, and they kind of effed the case up, bro. They brought these weak ass testimonies in there. Like, these people were still involved with Diddy up until 2024. The Capricorn Clarks, the Jane Does, they still was involved with this nigga up until he got busted. Like, come on, y'all fucked up. Y'all, this nigga something he wasn't. Y'all ain't had no evidence. Y'all messed this case up. That's why I titled it "Feds Messy." And they just gather a bunch of Diddy pornos and shit. And it's not a crime for him to make porno tapes. You know what I mean? He made his own little freak all porno tapes. Consensual sex on them tapes. And they played them shits in the courtroom for the jury. The jury looked at that shit like these Diddy personal porno tapes. There's no crime here. There's no crime here. This nigga personal stash. Ain't no crime here. The chicks that's on the tape knew they was being recorded. There's no crime here. Now, if he was secretly recording them, he had secret cameras and shit in there, and he was recording them, then that's a crime. But they knew they was being recorded, so it was just a Diddy porno tape. That's it. Let's continue, though.
Attorneys delivered a theatrical closing argument, digging into the testimony by Cassie Ventura, painting a portrait of a, quote, great modern love story of an intense, loving relationship that had its ups and downs. Cassie wanted to do this, he argued. This is how they're close. Later saying, She's a woman who actually likes sex. Good for her. She's beautiful. She should.
I personally found calling the 10-year relationship that they had where he beat her, where he had male sex workers urinate on her, where he had her participate in these freak-offs for multiple days with UTIs, calling that a modern day relationship.
That's another thing I don't agree on. Like, she was still doing the freak offs with urinary tract infections. Like, bitch, go to the doctor. Like, you could have said no. I need to go to the doctor to get, you know what I mean, to get, the penicillin to clear up this UTI and shit like that. I ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. Like, you still doing freak offs with a UTI, nasty. You nasty as hell. Cassie nasty as hell doing freak offs with UTI, bro. Like, you just took your ass to the doctor and got some penicillin or something. Antibiotics. Clear that shit up, man. She can't tell me that she ain't have the ability to say, I got a urinary tract infection. I can't really do no freak offs. I need to go get some antibiotics to clear this shit up. You mean to tell me that she couldn't do that? She's a goddamn lie. She wanted to do them freak offs with that UTI. She chose to do that shit, bro. So I ain't trying to hear that shit, bro.
I think is really an affront. Just because he wasn't convicted of sex trafficking doesn't mean that the jury disbelieved her.
Wigdor says he thinks prosecutors did their job in this case and says the beyond a reasonable doubt bar is very high.
Do you think the jury got it right?
No, but I think that our justice system isn't perfect, unfortunately. I respect the decision. The facts honestly supported convictions on the sex trafficking and the RICO claims.
Wigdor joined prosecutors in asking for Diddy's bail to be denied.
Well, we think that he poses a significant threat still if he's released. He continued to do what he was doing with Jane. And, that was while he was being watched by the federal government.
Combs is still facing numerous civil lawsuits, including one from Don Richard, a former member of the group Danity Kane, which Diddy founded. Don also testified at his trial.
I think it's a very heartbreaking day for his accusers.
Attorney Lisa Bloom represents her and another male accuser.
They're afraid of Mr. Combs, just like so many victims who testified in the trial about his propensity for violence and his many threats. My clients are afraid of some kind of retribution.
Despite that, she says both her clients are resolved to fight on.
In the civil case, we have different facts, different law, and a lower standard of proof. So I think once the news of this day sinks in, people will get stronger. They'll find their courage.
Combs is expected back in court for his sentencing in the coming months.
He looked disappointed and frustrated, frankly, when the judge refused to release him prior to sentencing and saying that Combs represents a danger to the community.
While the charges carry a maximum of 20 years in prison, he'll likely face less time.
Absolutely not the last one you're going to see of Sean Combs. Absolutely not. Actually, you're going to see more of him.
I'm gonna be honest. I believe Diddy is definitely getting up out of there. Like I said, he still gotta be careful because they put an attempt on it. They try to put an attempt on his life. You know what I mean? That's definitely what they try to do. Just because they wasn't able to get that life sentence, they definitely wanted him in jail for that life. And like I said, prosecution got messy. They weak ass testimonies, no evidence, and the nigga got found not guilty on three counts. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get into this rise and fall of Diddy too. CNN put out a hit piece on the rise and fall of Diddy. So I wanted to get into this too. I got some other videos queued up. I need y'all to double tap the screen like this video, man. This video is sponsored by 90dayherbals.com. So definitely make sure y'all check out our website where we sell all natural products, from hair care to skincare, herbal products, sea moss, sea moss teas, all types of different detoxes, natural detoxes. Check out our website, man. It's pinned to the chat and in the description of this video. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this, man. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
And when I was growing up, I really felt that I would
Let me know if we good on the sound with the video.
be somebody. I felt like I wanted to come and shake up the world.
Sean Diddy Combs did shake things up. After a brief stint at Howard University, he launched his music career that would earn him 3 Grammy wins for gold and platinum solo albums. In 1993, Combs founded his own record label, Bad Boy Records, after being fired from Uptown Records.
So that adversity kind of pushed me into my bad boy purpose.
This is the video right here. That he was speaking on Diageo and facing the war at the top, and they want to take away the freedom, the money in the Freedom Bank and the 40 acres and a mule. It was this very video right here, which I'm gonna go find the original video of this and pull that shit up, because the shit where he was talking a lot of that going at them type shit in that very conference that he held on Revolt TV. It was that one right there.
Among others, Combs signed Christopher Wallace, better known as Notorious B.I.G. Combs produced hit records for him until Biggie was murdered in March 1997. That same year, at age 27, Combs released his debut album, No Way Out, which won the Grammy for Best Rap Album.
Which was a hot-ass
Trouble
album,
found
too.
Combs in 1999 when he was arrested in the beating of a music executive. Combs pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of harassment. He was ordered to attend an anger management course. Later that same year, more trouble after a shooting at a Manhattan nightclub injured 3 clubgoers. Combs stood trial, accused of firing the gun inside the club. He also allegedly tried to bribe his chauffeur into taking the blame for another gun found inside a car Combs shared with his then girlfriend.
Yeah, it was Sean. We know Sean went down for that. Tanya Rubin, she was a victim of that shit. I mean, she been speaking out for years about it. She's still speaking out. She got her own YouTube channel. She done documentaries. She's still speaking about Diddy shooting her in the face and all that shit. And Sean taking the blame for it, and he ended up getting stiffed at the end of the deal. And yeah, bro. A lot of this shit was crazy, bro.
And Jennifer Lopez. She was never charged, and Combs was acquitted by a jury.
I just want to say I give all glory to God. I give all glory to God.
The ups and downs continued. 2004 was a good year for Combs. He took home another Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. Combs also made his Broadway debut in 2004 in A Raisin in the Sun alongside Felicia Rashad.
When I started out as an entrepreneur,
that was a good play, too.
So music was one of the things that I've had success in, and then I went to apparel with Sean John, and I have Revolt TV, my own television network.
He even invested in vodka.
We just put out the #1 vodka this year, Ciroc Apple.
By 2017, it was clear Combs had achieved his dream of wanting to be somebody. He topped Forbes' list of richest rappers with an estimated $820 million. Still, years later in 2023, another dizzying slide. That's when Combs was hit with a lawsuit by his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. She alleged she'd been raped and repeatedly abused by Combs for over a decade. Combs denied the allegations, and the two settled the lawsuit. 4 other civil lawsuits followed. Then came a federal investigation. Authorities swarmed the star's homes in both Los Angeles and Miami as the Department of Homeland Security began investigating claims of human trafficking involving Combs. Combs' lawyer at the time told CNN there was a gross overuse of military-level force. A tumultuous life for Combs, the man formerly known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, and Love.
Well, I got the key.
I have different personalities, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knows who's coming downstairs in the morning.
Randy, there was a chance that Combs might have actually been headed to Florida tonight had he got bail.
Yeah, he was going back
Absolutely,
to
Anderson. We
Star
thought he
Island.
might be on a plane by now heading here, given the verdict earlier, but then the judge, of course, denied him bail. But he does have a residence here. It's in an area called Star Island. That is an exclusive community about 80 or 90 miles south of where I am in West Palm Beach. It's a gated community. It's a man-made island in Biscayne Bay in the southern part of Miami Beach. And Anderson, that is the home that federal authorities had searched when the allegations started stacking up against Combs. So we thought maybe if the judge let him out on bail, that he might want to get away from New York. It's a quick flight to Florida, get away from some of the chaos surrounding his trial. It would make sense that he would go to his house there. But right now, Anderson, we don't know when he'll be able to return to that home.
All right, Randy Gay, thanks very much. My next.
Well, we know he ain't going back to that home in L.A. His time up in L.A. is done. He definitely ain't going back to L.A. Time's up. He got to sell that home. Time's up for that man.
Guest profiled Combs for Vanity Fair back in 2021, spent time with him at his home, and which was about 3 years before Combs was indicted, a little more than 2 years before Cassie Ventura filed her civil suit. The headline of the article, I got a second from Puff Daddy to Diddy to Love. UNC Chapel Hill professor and New York Times columnist Tracy McMillan Cotton joins us now. Also, our Karis Cannell is back as well. So, Tracy, there were a lot of reports from inside the courtroom about Combs' demeanor during the trial. You profiled it back in 2021. That seemed really very much a part of a PR campaign on his part at that point.
Yeah, his behavior and his demeanor anyway in court is pretty consistent with what I saw during the hours we spent together for that profile. You know, I went into doing that interview with a couple of questions. I am one of those people that grew up with Bad Boy. I am part of that generation. So I understood him as a cultural figure. I also understood Diddy Combs as a sort of transformational capitalist figure. But I was interested in why this rebrand, why now? And I repeatedly asked him that question when we spent time together. And it became kind of clear to me that this was sort of a tail wagging the dog situation. The rebrand needed to happen, and he was sort of backfilling the narrative as to why, as we were kind of going along. That was my takeaway at the time. Didn't have any indication of what was to come. I will say that when the eventual bombshell allegations started to drop, it didn't feel inconsistent with the person that I had met.
This was a rebranding where he was calling himself Love, and I think showed a driver's license at one point that had that as his middle name. This was, I mean, now we realize that video of him assaulting Cassie Ventura in the hotel. That was in 2016, so that was actually 4 years now before you interviewed her. Obviously, nobody knew about, or nobody publicly knew about this video that we're watching right now. I'm wondering what you thought once you saw this video, realizing, I mean, he was talking to you about the Me Too movement back in 2021.
Yeah, remembered this. You know, kind of remind everybody at this moment we were at this intersection between Me Too and Black Lives Matter when I met with Diddy at
Two of the worst
home
organizations
in Los Angeles, and I fully
two of the goddamn worst psyop organizations that ever came. You know what I mean? The goddamn Me Too movement and that Black Lives Matter shit. Psyop shit. A bunch of rip-off, scam-ass organizations. Stupid ass shit. Now look where Black Lives Matter at. They asses in the wind. Y'all done stole all that money, bought houses and cars, and 1-800 me now phone calls and all that stupid, all that Me Too movement, stupid ass shit, all that dumbass psyop shit, bro. Get it out of here. We ain't going for it.
expected him to speak about Black Lives Matter, particularly his role or non-role at the time in talking about police brutality, et cetera. He was the one, however, who brought up Me Too and kind of kept circling the drain. And I remember asking him, I remember telling him that I was surprised that he was clued in to Me Too and that he thought that it was the sort of signature, social movement of the time. I was never really satisfied with
Nah,
his
that was
answer
the
as to
psyop,
why he thought it was
shit at the
important,
time.
but he really wanted to get out ahead of the questions about where he saw himself in the culture, and then where he thought the culture was at the time was a response to Me Too. He wanted to make the point that he thought Me Too was important, and that kind of behavior wouldn't continue. He spoke about it in a very general terms, and I pressed him repeatedly on what behavior and why it affected him so much. But yeah, I was very surprised by his insistence on bringing up Me Too.
Kara, I mean, you had an up-close view of Combs for weeks over the course of the trial. What was he like in court? Because obviously, even just visually, I guess his hair is now, is it all gray?
Yeah, I mean, he visually looks so different than the Sean Combs that we all knew before he was arrested. And even at his first appearance in court in his arraignment, he had, dark hair. He was wearing a T-shirt.
He ain't got that Beijing no more. That's what it is. That nigga, all them celebrities that's 50 plus, they all wear that Beijing and shit. Try to, keep themselves looking younger. So Diddy didn't have access to the Beijing, so all his shit, all his grades and all his shit, popped out.
Athletic pants, kind of the rapper and the music mogul that you know. But then over the weeks and months leading up to this trial, his hair had turned gray. His appearance in court was one where he was wearing khaki pants. He wore a white button-down shirt with a rotating number of sweaters, crew neck sweaters over it in a couple of different colors, shades of blue and cream and like a mustard color. So he definitely exuded a much different image than what we know him to be, and what the jury even saw of him in some of these sexually explicit videos that the public did not see, but Combs was depicted in some of them. They also, heard voice memos from him that bore a contrast to the man who is sitting there quietly because he can't speak and he chose not to testify. But what we also saw, we heard a lot of testimony about how he was so in control of every detail, and that as a businessman, as a performer, he was very focused on the smallest thing. And what we saw throughout the trial was how closely he was involved with his legal team's decisions. His lawyers, before ending cross-examination of a witness, would walk over and confer with him. Some of that might have been for show for the jury, but it also, he was sending notes to them repeatedly throughout the trial, during cross-examinations, while the judge was speaking. Even today, as his lawyer was making these arguments of why he should be released on bail, I saw him pass at least 3 Post-it notes over to his lawyer who was addressing the judge. So there's definitely an element here that he is someone who is in the details, who is involved in that, and that did also portray itself throughout this trial.
All right, y'all, man, we're gonna have to let's switch gears real quick. Let's get into a little bit of dumb shit. It's a little bit of messy, dumbass shit with Ray J on Kumo show. Let's go ahead and get into reggae. Man, I need y'all to double tap the screen, like this video, man. Like we said, this video is sponsored by 90dayherbals.com. Let me go ahead and run this quick 15-second commercial, and then we're gonna be right back with this video right here with reggae on the Kumo show. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightanddayherbals.com.
All right, 35% off on everything on 90dayherbals.com. Make sure y'all go over there and check out our shop. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's get into a little bit of mess with this dumbass nigga, reggae on Kumo.
Are you worried now that this verdict, or
let me know if y'all can hear this too,
because
sometimes the sound be going out.
Continue a culture that you're concerned about.
Let me know if we good with the sound.
Absolutely. I look at all the other young entrepreneurs. I look at other people in other genres of, business, and they don't have the same kind of publicity. And a lot of people at the top, when you get mad,
all right, we good.
You make a statement. And this is what it was. I know everybody sees that, and honestly, like, if I really had a crazy big sponsor, or I was backed by this, this sponsor that had, an agenda, then there were certain things I could or couldn't say or do. And so, you do wrong, well, look at what happens. Even now, I mean, they should let Puffy out now. I mean, to have him guilty of that, not that, but this. still shows a W in certain areas of this whole thing, because he could still get 3 years, 10 years. You just don't know. I feel like time served is enough, but who knows? You know, it could be a curveball, and now he's doing 10 flat, and then Trump would have to pardon him. You know, so it's a celebration. I see everybody saying it's a celebration, but at the same time, how when he's not out yet, and then the last 2 counts are still super bogus? If this was a domestic violence case, it'd be a problem, because that's what this was.
Right.
But federal and exposing.
Yeah, I know Ray Gay be chasing clout. I don't care how much you know he's saying some right shit. This nigga Ray J is a clout chaser. We all know he's 1000% clout chaser, and he'll do anything for the shine on any show he get on. This nigga want to be seen. He want the clout. He's a clout chasing ass nigga. We know Ray Gay, 1000% clout chaser. So he could be, he could be right in saying some shit, but I don't take him serious because he be clout chasing. Like, nigga, go sit down some goddamn way.
All of the private things that people do in their own homes with people, for the girls, which much love to all of them. You know, for them to be able to go home at night, come back, say I want a job, like that's not what that was. That's not what he's accused of. It was bad, but it's not that. And so it's scary, because what's next? I know what's next. I know what's next.
What's next, Ray Gay?
When the wave comes, it's coming. The waves are coming, and it's scary. I'm literally, just trying to make sure that what we do is on a positive note. Like,
so what this nigga basically saying, he know all these celebrity niggas is gonna get targeted because he know them niggas ain't needed no more. Ray Gay, I don't know if they coming after you because I don't know, you weird nigga, clout chasing nigga, but we know a lot of these other celebrity niggas is scared though. They scared. They running scared as hell. They like shit as I'm next. From Oprah, the Jay-Z's, the goddamn LeBron Games. Then they already got Tyler Perry on the goddamn chopping block. They didn't use a former employee of his came out. You got old ass 80-something-year-old Smokey Robinson on the chopping block. You know what I mean? And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to repeat it again. They let that Mike Jeffries nigga walk. Like, he got sex trafficking and prostitution. Same charge Diddy got, right? He got out on a $10 million bail, right? The last report on him was May 5th, 2025. They said he was incompetent to face trial. They said he wasn't even fit to face trial. He was, you know what I mean? So they basically let him off. Mike Jeffries got off on sex trafficking and prostitution. Yeah, they made his shit go away. Yeah. Yeah, Abercrombie and Fitch CEO. Yeah, they made that shit go away. They said most he'd do is 4 months in a mental hospital, and that's it. And I don't even think he did that. Yeah, they said his old ass. So you mean to tell me y'all had old ass Bill, damn near blind, in court for saying he drugged some old ass geriatric center bitches that they pulled from the geriatric center. These bitches was in nursing homes. They pulled these Sigourney Weaver looking ass bitches out of the nursing home to get Bill. These bitches on oxygen tanks and shit. Like, so you mean to tell me y'all can pull these old ass geriatric center bitches out on Bill and have Bill old ass damn near blind in his 80s in court and sitting in the goddamn Montgomery County goddamn state, Montgomery County goddamn jail and shit. And you mean to tell me y'all that old ass Mike Jeffries, Abercrombie and Fitch CEO, all saying he was incompetent to face trial? That's the shit I be talking about. That's what I'm saying. Like the system is just on some dumb shit, and it's the shit I be talking about. But y'all had old ass Bill up in there, and then y'all about to drag old ass Smokey Robinson through prosecution for some old bitches that been working for him for over 20 something years. Maid that was his maids. Y'all saying this nigga sexually assaulted his maids? Then why them bitches ain't leave then? And why they husbands? They said they went home, told their husbands and all that shit. Then the husbands just let y'all get sexually assaulted and y'all ain't do shit. Nah, that's some bullshit. Y'all want Smokey Robinson Motown catalog, and he told y'all no, I'm not selling it. So y'all put some false allegations on Smokey Robinson. Y'all really think old ass and Smokey Robinson still look good for his age? Yeah, I mean, so you mean to tell me Smokey Robinson need to take the coochie, bro? That's goddamn Smokey Robinson. So he just took the coochie and y'all still continue to work for him. I hate this shit, bro. I hate it. I hate it here, y'all. I hate it here. I do. I hate this shit. I hate it here. And this shit is like crazy to me. Yeah, I'm talking about Smokey Robinson. Yeah, they didn't put sexual assault on that man. Yeah, they didn't put Smokey like in his mid 80s. I think Smokey like 85, 86, like 84, 85 or 86. One of them. But yeah, the greedy ass lawyers. They got these three maids that been working for him and shit. One worked for him for 20 something years. One worked for him for 4 years, and the other one worked for like 2 years and a half. And they saying the whole time Smokey Robinson was sexually assaulting them. And mind you, these women have husbands at home. So you mean to tell me Smokey sexually assaulted y'all and y'all kept coming back to work? Nah, bro, I hate it here, bro. I hate it here. I hate it here, bro. They on some dumb shit. So we know these niggas is targeted. So that's what Reggae talking about. Reggae talking about all the celebrities being targeted, basically. I mean, and possibly prosecuted for for same shit that Diddy faced. You know what I mean? But let's continue though. With this clout chasing dumbass nigga Reggae.
Like, we don't want no problems, but everybody got to stand up for something or you'll fall for anything.
Let me bring it back a little bit.
Don't want no problems.
Let me bring it back.
That the waves are coming, and what's next?
What's next?
But when the wave comes, it's coming. The waves are coming, and it's scary. I'm literally, just trying to make sure that
I ain't going down for the Whitney Houston.
No, like we don't want no problems. But everybody got to stand up for something or you'll fall for anything. Like that picture right there. Like, what? Did he do that in the courtroom? Like, go down on his knees and bend down all under the table like that? Like, I'm confused on what that is right there. Because I'm like,
that's what that is. That's why it's so artwork. That's why it's so stupid that we don't have cameras in the courtroom. We got to rely on these stupid chalk.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that.
Understand things that
I hate that sketch lady. I'm gonna be 1000% honest. I hate this goddamn sketch lady. I hate her drawings. I hate her sketches. I hate her sketches of Diddy. I hate her sketches of the people that was on the stand. I hate her sketches of the people in the audience. I hate her sketches. I hate her damn sketches of the jury. I just hate this sketch lady's sketches, man. And them shits is trash. And it don't look like the people that she's sketching. That's just my take on it. I don't know how y'all feel, but me, I don't like the lady sketches, and that's my opinion.
reached a point in I think our cultural development where people want transparency and access, and that's why I was interested in your take, because you said, look, there are parts of the culture that Diddy participated in that he may represent that you don't like and you think needs to change. Do you think the fact that he walked on the serious charges will make it more likely that that culture of abusing young artists may continue?
I just think that we need mentorship. I think everything continues, it gets worse until, you know, we create mentorship programs for all of the youth, whether you're in the entertainment or not, to try to control yourself. As you rise to the top, how do you control yourself when you're making money, when you're able to you know, to help people, but instead you hurt people? Like, where are the courses for these kind of things? We don't have them. A lot of our mentors that we look up to maybe not have the time or don't see the villains as worth their while. They don't think that the turned up villains are worth their while, but you know.
I got it, and I appreciate your guidance during this process. And you being kind of a Virgil for us, of talking to us about a world that many only hear about, but they never live in. Thank you, and thank you for being with me tonight.
Thank you, thank you. I hate that picture under the table.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Me too. We should have had cameras in there, and then we wouldn't have had to be looking at this stuff in the first place.
Well, New York don't allow cameras in it. That's one of the states that don't allow cameras in the courtroom. Now, if it was California, I mean Vegas and shit like that, then yeah. Florida even, we might have had a chance to have, you know, cameras in the court, but New York don't have that policy. They don't allow cameras and shit in the court. So, I mean, yeah, I hate that sketch too, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I do agree with Ray Gay on that. I hate that sketch, bro. Like, that lady just be drawing shit. She be bored as shit sitting up there. Sketch lady be bored as shit up there and just start exaggerating sketches and shit. You know what I mean? Like, they got him all up under the table, bending down on the chair and shit. Like, that lady bored as shit up in there and just sketching shit, just sketching away, making up shit. Like, yeah, the sketch lady, she gotta go. She should be charged online with these goddamn sketches. That shit don't look like no damn Diddy. That like a young Thurgood Marshall or some shit like that. Fuck, they got Thurgood Marshall up in there. Ain't no goddamn Diddy. Who that? Cindy Portier and shit. How the fuck they drawing it? Who the fuck she draw? She just say she probably one of them ladies just think all black people looking like this. She sketching like all black people look alike. She got there Danny Glover. She's sketching Danny Glover and shit, bro. Like, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell, Leonte? She up there sketching Danny Glover. Like, man, what the hell? She up there sketching, bro. This shit be crazy to me, man. I don't be knowing, bro. It should be all funny. This shit is a whole clown show. All this shit is a clown show, my nigga. Yeah, this shit crazy. You said Ray Gay needs some lotion, some money. Yeah, Ray Gay be up there clout chasing, man. I didn't see him ever since the verdict and shit. I didn't see this nigga hop on 4 or 5 different people. He even hopped on Tasha K shit. He up there with goddamn Benzino up there with his shirt off and shit. Ray Gay hop on there. I'm like, goddamn, Tasha K, you got these two of the weirdest niggas on your platform. Goddamn Ray Gay and goddamn no neck ass Benzino and shit. Like, come on, man. Shit crazy. Yeah, her sketches is crazy, bro. She up there just sketching anybody. Diddy all light skin and shit. That's why I said, look at that. Fuck is that? A young Thurgood Marshall and shit. Goddamn Danny Glover, Cindy Portier. She done sketched all these niggas in one. Morgan Freeman. Shit be crazy, man. But yeah, let's move on, man. Let's move on. I got one more drawing that I wanted to get into, and this is Yeah, I believe this is Cassie's lawyer being interviewed by CNN. Yeah. So I want to get into this shit. I want to hear what this lawyer talking about. Yeah. I need y'all to double tap the screen, bro. Double tap the screen on this. Y'all like this video, man. And yeah, we gonna continue, man. Yeah, I don't think Diddy should be serving no damn time at this point. Thanks to the messy ass prosecutors and them dumbass testimonies and lack of evidence. I think he should be acquitted of all charges. Y'all didn't get racketeering, y'all didn't get sex trafficking, arson, all that dumbass shit y'all ain't have evidence for, stupid ass prosecutors. Y'all mom's going to just let this nigga go. Like, let him go. It's to the point y'all effed up. Y'all, the prosecutors effed up. The federal government did a poor job and they effed up. They ain't have shit on them. So just y'all mom's just going to let the nigga go. Yeah, they ain't even charging with the guns. They dumb as shit. Yeah, they could at least got the guns to stick, like with the scratch off shit. They ain't even charging. That's how dumb they is. Like they ain't even get him on the guns. Like y'all stupid ass. Y'all ain't get him on. They ain't even get him on a personal, cocaine stash he had. You know what I mean? Like they ain't even get him on that. They try to get him on RICO and sex trafficking, and y'all dumbasses dropped the ball. Stupid ass prosecutors, dumbass testimonies, the lack of evidence. Yeah, and that's what it is. Yeah, they got him on the lesser charges. Yeah, and I don't think he should serve no. I think he served his time. I think he should be acquitted of all them the rest of them stupid ass charges. He should be acquitted of all that shit and just because the feds effed up. The prosecution effed up. They was too damn goddamn thirsty and they was too messy. And then y'all playing all the porno tapes up in there. Like y'all playing consensual Diddy porno tapes to the jury. Like they really want to sit up there and watch that shit. Nobody want to see no personal Diddy porno tapes. Like, come on, bro. I want to see that shit. They actually tortured the damn jury to sit up there and watch and listen to that shit. Nah, man. Nah, that shit was dumb. This case was dumb. The federal prosecutors was dumb. The federal Bureau of Investigations weak ass investigation, lack of evidence, and that's what it is. Let him go. Right? You said when the feds had Nikki Barnes, yeah, head covered in federal court, NYC, wasn't no cameras, wasn't no John Gotti, Sammy the Bull, and on the cameras in federal. Yeah, actually, yeah, they shit was actually on camera. So I don't know what happened as far as like them allowing the cameras in the courtroom. I don't know. They might have changed some policies during the way because the Gotti shit definitely was on tape. The Sammy the Bull shit was on tape. Yeah, I even heard Sammy the Bull speaking recently on Jaguar, so I might have to go live a little bit later on that shit. Sammy the Bull saying some shit about people that ain't believe Jaguar right until now. I'm like, why? I'm like, Sammy the Bull, they must ain't go up there and tell you who the fuck Jaguar Wright is. But he was saying some shit about her, saying like she throw it off a little bit, and he was saying some shit. But I might go ahead and cover that on some commentary shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this, man. I'm holding y'all too long, man. I want to get into this video and then get up out of here. This is Cassie lawyer. This is CNN interviewing Cassie lawyer right after the verdict. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me know if the sound good too.
Doug, you were inside of that courtroom when this verdict was read. This has been something that you have
me know
been
if we good on
representing
sound.
Cassie Ventura for well over a year. A lot at stake here. Yes, for Sean Combs, but for Cassie Ventura. What were you feeling when you were inside that courtroom?
Well, I think there was a lot of mixed emotions in the courtroom, generally speaking. Obviously, we would have liked to have seen convictions on the RICO charges and the sex trafficking charges, but Cassie prompted this investigation by the Southern District, and now Sean Combs stands before the court as a convicted felon of 2 federal crimes. He faces significant incarceration. Not the exact outcome that we wanted, but we are grateful to the jury for finding a guilty verdict on those 2 federal crimes.
I want to get back to what you were just talking about, but first I have to ask you, have you had the chance to speak with Cassie?
I have, yeah. So I had an opportunity to speak with her, as did the government prosecution team. She's of the same view. Back in November of 2023, Cassie had a choice. She could accept an 8-figure settlement offer and move on with her life and sign non-disclosure agreements, or she could file a civil lawsuit and hold Sean Combs responsible for what he did to her and shine a light on his behavior. She showed great courage, great bravery to choose the latter of those 2 options. She turned away the money at first. Ultimately, this case.
Yo, shut up, bro. Shut up, Cassie lawyer. She took the $30 million. She ain't care about Diddy doing time in jail. All she cared about is getting that money, bro. The lifestyle was over. She started to have kids with the personal trainer, that the person that she married that was her trainer at the time. She was with Diddy, and the money ran low, and she spent the block on this nigga on Mad Day and Broke Day, and said, we need to get that $20 million. 20 from Diddy, 10 from the hotel. He talking about she turned the money down at first. Nigga, stop lying. You got a piece of that bread too anyway, so stop lying. You see how he can sit up there and just lie and shit and think we just supposed to believe that? Her whole objective was to go after that money. She didn't have no money no more. She was broke. She wanted the money.
They settled the day after. And she went through a year-long process of preparing for this trial. I think people who saw her testify, she was a great witness. She was graceful. She shined a light on this. Jane read the complaint. She came forward. Many other people have come forward. Are going to be seeking to hold Sean Combs responsible in the civil courts. And so it's not all lost. He's now, as I said, he's never been held responsible for anything in his lifetime. He was acquitted on charges when he was in New York with a gun case. And now he is a 2-time convicted felon, 2 federal charges. The government indicated after the jury verdict was read that they're going to be seeking consecutive terms, and they're going to be seeking lengthy prison incarceration. And so Cassie was comforted in knowing that not only has she played a role in the criminal prosecution, but that she has shined a light on this behavior by Sean Combs, and many other people have come forward, not only about him, but about other people in the entertainment world as well.
Now, I want to go back to something you said, which is when she filed that civil suit in November 2023, that this is really what started it all. And it really is in the civil sense, but also in the criminal sense. In this trial, and I was in the courtroom for most of the days, we heard both the defense and the prosecution say that this investigation, this federal investigation, began because of Cassie Ventura. How does that weigh on her to realize that Sean Combs would not have even been in a courtroom if not for her?
Well, I think it's given her some agency in life, where for 10 years, he told her what had to be done and she had no choice. This was her ability to say, no, I'm not going to accept this 8-figure settlement. I'm going to file this lawsuit. And that's what she did. And so she is really gratified in knowing that other people have come out since the filing of the civil lawsuit. And that you're correct, as far as I know, there was no pending investigation into Sean Combs prior to her filing the civil lawsuit. We were contacted very soon after we filed, and this investigation ensued. And the team, the prosecution team, I thought did an excellent job. Again, not the outcome I'm sure that they wanted. They didn't get the top counts, but they at least were able to secure 2 convictions of 2 federal felony charges.
Now, you mentioned the settlement, which, as you are saying right here, Cassie had 2 choices, which was take the money, sign an NDA, or file a civil suit. She chose to file the civil suit. Now, she did reach a settlement within 24 hours. It was very quick, but this was after she filed the civil suit, after all of her bombshell allegations were out in the world. And yet, in this trial, the defense seized on money, not just for Cassie, but also for Jane. The defense, and this is not a direct quote, I'm summarizing, but Mark Agnifilo, in his closing, he said said, Cassie Ventura is the winner here. He called her the winner. He said she's sitting somewhere in the world.
I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy sued the federal government. I wouldn't be surprised if later on down the line, his lawyers announced that he's suing the federal government. And that's where the danger of his life definitely gonna come into play. Because you gotta realize Diddy might flip the script. He might link up with Kanye on some Kanye shit, flip the script on these niggas, turn against the whole industry, do diss songs about them, go after the federal government. Diddy might flip the script. He seen how they treated him. He might flip the script and get on some real revolutionary shit. Who knows? We might see Diddy flip the script. You might see him get out and flip the script on this shit, on some Kanye type shit. I mean, I don't know if he gonna be extreme as Kanye with the Hell Hitler songs and all that stupid ass shit. Like Kanye do it, he be overboard with this shit. Like I be all for Kanye when he starts speaking against shit, but then this nigga go overboard with it and be like, man, you just taking away from the rest of the shit that you talk about, bro. Stick to that shit. Like all that extra goofy ass shit you doing, saying you love Hitler and all this stupid shit. Like you trolling those small hat community, bro. Instead of just sticking the truth, you trolling them and shit.
With $30 million, she's not naive like the prosecutors are telling you. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she's the winner. How did that make you feel and her feel to use the word winner when the jury and the world, by the way, has seen her being horrifically beaten on camera?
Yeah, I mean, thanks to your great reporting and the video that saw the light of day. Obviously, Cassie Ventura at that point in time and today is not the winner. She endured 10 years of abuse where she had to engage in days-long sexual acts with UTI.
Yo, stop lying, bro. Stop. This lawyer, stop lying, nigga. We seen the transcripts, seen the testimony. Cassie liked the freak off. She could the UTIs and shit. She was, dude. Imagine sleeping with somebody with a UTI. That shit probably was stinking up the whole room and shit. Like damn, bitch, go get some antibiotics, penicillin, something. Yeah, the lawyers be liars. We don't call them lawyers. We call them liars. This liar, pants on fire, lawyer right here. Bro, you got paid already. Like you got paid. So why you still out here lying for Miss UTI and shit? Come on, man, bro. Yo, make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. We almost at 90K subs. I think y'all probably can get us there while we on this live stream right now. We close to 90K subs, so subscribe to this channel if you just tuning in. Get us to 90K. You know what I'm saying? And we, like this video too. Double tap the screen like this video.
She alleged that she was raped. And so to call her a winner, even though she did get $30 million, part from, as she testified, part from Sean Combs, part from the hotel, no amount of money is going to ever undo what she had to endure and what she had to go through. So,
I ain't trying to hear that shit. I ain't trying to hear that shit. She got compensated. Because she was with the shits. She was violent. She was threatening to unalive people. And she still was able to get 30 million out the shit, bro. Nah, she got overcompensated. I ain't trying to hear what the hell this lawyer nigga talking about. She got her compensation. $30 million is more than enough. So this lawyer sitting up here talking this stupid ass shit he talking. Nah, 30 million is more than enough. And he looked like Joe Biden. and he looked like a little younger version, like a tad bit younger version of Joe Biden. So I don't like this face anyway. You look like Joe Biden. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. But anyway, let's continue.
both she and I didn't really take well to that as her being a winner. And frankly, the fact of the matter is that when she testified, she had already been paid the $30 million. So she had no vested interest in anything other than telling the truth on that witness stand.
She
And
lied.
while the
Lying.
jury did not convict on the sex trafficking charge, I mean, I think it's important for your viewers to know, in the criminal justice system, the standard is very high. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. The civil justice system is very different. It's a preponderance of the evidence, more likely than not. So it is a very high burden. The jury found that the government did not meet that burden, but that doesn't mean that what she said isn't true.
It's not sex trafficking, dumbass. If he's not taking it, if he's not being paid to pimp Cassie out, stupid ass, how is it sex trafficking when he's the one paying for the sex? Stupid ass. That's the jury. Jury looked at that shit, was like, well, Diddy ain't pimp Cassie out for money. He actually paid money out for her to have sex. It's not sex trafficking, dickhead. He didn't pimp Cassie out. He paid prostitutes to have sex with her. It's a difference. There's no sex trafficking there. There's no RICO neither. There's no damn racketeering neither. Well, yeah, of course he's still not innocent. He got transportation, transporting prostitutes across state lines. So yeah, he didn't get away scot-free. He still got charged with something. And that's what the federal government do. They trump up them charges so they can get, that's how they get that 98% conviction rate, because they had throw a bunch of other charges, high level charges on there just so the lower charges can stick so they can still get their conviction rate. Yeah, the FEDS is very calculated when it comes to conviction. I mean, they need that conviction rate to stay at 98%, and they had trumped the charges up just so the lower charges can stick, so they can still get that conviction rate. That's the name of it, the FEDS game. That been their game the whole damn time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Diddy ain't 1000% innocent as far as character-wise, moral decisions. But that shit they try to charge him with is dumb shit, and that shit ain't sticking. They ain't had evidence. So that's what I'm just sticking by. What they try to, charge him with, what the witnesses were saying, and what the jury decided. You know what I mean? So we just sticking to the facts of that. But as far as him being like a scumbag in the industry over, like using his power to, benefit him, and as far as him being a scumbag and, a power freak and a freak-all freak and stepping on people to get, and doing dirty businesses with contracts and shit like that. Yeah, he's definitely guilty of that, but he ain't on trial for that. So we ain't talk about that shit. That's just a character, his character, and what he, his morals and shit is maybe, displaced or whatever, but we just strictly sticking to the case and the evidence and the testimonies and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's it. So, but other than that, let's get finished listening to Joe Biden, little brother.
Now, his defense during their closing also called Cassie and Combs' relationship, and again, this is not a direct quote, but a great modern love story. How did she feel when she heard that? And I'm curious, has she been following all of the testimony? Because she was one of the first witnesses. She was on the stand for 4 days talking about what she says happened to her. Cassie, as we...
He said Coley Green. He said, I do agree with you with that, as far as him losing his brand deals and shit like that. But being as though this is a high profile case, there's always money to be made. You got book deals. You got people that's going to be coming at him to do a movie, write a book, documentaries. It's still a lot of money to be made based off the case. Like, you know what I mean? So far as him being able to make money in the industry and shit like that, far as like off the music and Alcohol, all that shit is out the window. All them brand deals he had, all that shit is gone. But as far as him making money off the controversy, he's gonna make money off that regardless. The book deals, movie deals, documentary deals, I mean, him being able to do like, 60 minutes and shit like that, like interviews with 60 minutes and other big publications, and there's still a lot of money to be made based off, because how do you account for niggas like Sammy the Bull being a snitch, turned the whole, on John Gotti. He still caught drug charges and shit after that, murdered a lot of people. But now he's like one of the top mafia podcasters, still making millions of dollars a year. So how do you count the fact that Michael Franzese, another mobster that turned in state as a state witness against his mafia family, still another top mafia podcaster, still making $1 million a year. So you think Diddy ain't gonna be able to still make millions of dollars a year based off the controversy of his case, even though he's still wealthy? Like, he's still wealthy regardless, but he's still, wherever there's some controversy, there's always money to be made. You see what I'm saying? So, but we're gonna continue listening to Joe Biden, little brother.
All know is now a new mother of 3. She was on that witness stand when she was very pregnant, 8.5 months pregnant. Has she just been focused on family, or has she been following this, and how difficult has it been if she has been following?
Yeah, so I mean, she is primarily and has been focused on her family. She did testify when she was 8 months pregnant, and she is really trying to look forward. And when I gave my statement after her testimony, I made very clear that she was looking forward. She did not want to think about the case any longer. She had given her testimony and now wanted to just concentrate on her family, and she's done that. I mean, obviously, it's almost impossible not to see some of the media about the case, and so she has seen some of that. I can tell you that some of the comments that were made in the closing argument, I thought were repugnant, frankly, calling those sorts of behaviors as a modern day relationship, saying that she enjoyed sex, saying she was a gangster, things like that. I don't think even with...
I don't think y'all catching what I'm saying. We talking about America here, y'all. America loves a controversial story regardless. Like, just think about all the criminals throughout history and of America. Like, are we looking at the same America? Or are we looking at different Americas, y'all? I'm just trying to understand some of y'all in the chat. Are we looking at the same America? Or do we forget that America thrives off criminal activity, violence? Or are we looking at the same America? I just want to know. Are we not? Maybe y'all see America different. Maybe I'm just looking at shit for what it is. They saying, how can you compare Diddy to other because you gotta understand something. Regardless, America thrives off violence and drugs and shit like that. There's always money to be made. Regardless, you gotta remember, Diddy's case is still high profile. It's people that's making money off of it as we speak. Shit, I'm making money off of it as we speak. My shit is monetized. So you think if publications are making money off the story and shit, you think he not gonna make no money off his own story? Are we looking at the same America or not, y'all? I don't know. Maybe we're looking at 2 different United States of America. I don't know. And you got to remember, United States of America is very forgiving people. They love a comeback story. And you got to remember, it's still a lot of people out here that support Sean P. Diddy Combs. You got to realize that it's still a whole lot of the population that still support this nigga. So I'm trying to understand where he ain't gonna be able to make money still off the controversy of his case. That don't make sense to me. You know how many publications is probably reaching out to his ass right now to do deals with him? You gotta realize that when you're in jail and you got a high profile case, there's tons of people that trying to get at you to make money off it anyway, to try to do deals with you, whether it's movie deals, book deals, documentary deals. There's a, like I said, there's tons of money to be made still off this high profile case. So I'm just trying to understand where the disconnect at, as far as what we've been known of America to be like. Where's the disconnect, y'all? I'm just trying to understand where's the disconnect at. For y'all that disagree, I'm trying to understand where the disconnect at, because criminals still, the high profile criminals still make money based off their off the controversy of their case. Pam and the Shells is right, rebranding deals, right. You gotta realize there's still millions of dollars to be made off a whole high profile case. They're not gonna just go not approach Diddy with some shit, like especially 60 Minutes. Like, you know, when shit like this happen, you be having big publications reaching out because they might want to do, you know, some, you know, documentaries based off the case and books based off the case and shit like that. He has to clear that shit. They have to actually have to do deals with him to even do some shit like that. So he's gonna cut. I mean, if he want that type of shit to be out there, then they're gonna have to cut a deal with him. That's what I'm just trying to understand. Are we still looking at the same America or not? Well, let's continue, man. I'm tired of this shit, man. Let's go ahead and get back to Joe Biden, little brother.
The jury verdict that they would have given that any credit. And I don't think anyone who actually listened to the testimony and watched the testimony would either. And I thought that those were sort of gratuitous comments that really weren't based on any real fact.
After Cassie filed her civil lawsuit in November 2023, since there has been roughly 70 suits that have been filed against Sean Combs. He denies all of these allegations, but the allegations coming from women, men, minors over the course of decades, egregious accusations of people being drugged at auditions, being drugged at his infamous white parties, not remembering a single thing after they were handed a drink, and then being sexually assaulted. Given that none of these suits had come out prior to Cassie filing that lawsuit, does she feel like she has made a difference and like she is shining a light on not just the abuse that she alleged of Sean Combs, but for survivors around the world?
Yeah, definitely. And that was one of her major objectives, frankly, when she rejected an 8-figure settlement, was not only to shine a light, but to give a voice to others who were suffering in silence. And she knew that there were others out there. And so to now see, as reported, you know, numbers in the 50, 60, 70 or more allegations or lawsuits, I think that she's been vindicated in what she did. So many people would never have chosen that path. You know, if you've got two paths, one is to take an 8-figure settlement and move on with your life versus taking the other path of rejecting it. And you might not see a penny, but you actually get to go public and shine a light on what happened, and maybe others come forward. She should really be applauded for what she did.
Mm-hmm. And as I said, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, I had asked them for some reporting if they had seen an influx of calls after Cassie came forward, and they had. The numbers really spiked. She spoke directly to survivors of domestic violence. When she posted on her Instagram, she thanked everyone, and she said that domestic violence is the problem. Has she been hearing from different survivors ever since she came forward?
A lot of the different organizations that support survivors have reached out to her and to us. Because she is really, you know, not the official spokesperson, but what she did was so brave and courageous, and so people see that, and you know, they have shown fortitude in coming forward as well. I can tell you anecdotally as well, just that my law firm, which handles many of these cases, has seen a great increase in the number of cases since she came forward, because other people, women primarily, feel empowered that if Cassie can do this, I can do it as well. And so, you know, my hat really goes out to her. I'm really proud to be her lawyer. There aren't many clients like her.
Mm-hmm. Now, when our team at CNN released that hotel surveillance footage, I had reached out to you for comment, which is a common practice in journalism, and you gave us a statement that we used in our report. But I've never been able to ask you a question, which I am curious. Had Cassie ever seen that video before our team aired it?
She hadn't, but we had described it in the complaint. And so when the video came out, you know, it corroborated everything that she said. She had heard that a video was out there. She wasn't sure exactly what had happened with it, but she had never actually seen it. But it really, when we saw it and we look back at the complaint, it really, again, it was just amazing to see how it corroborated everything that she had said in that civil complaint.
So everything in her civil complaint was from her memory. It was her experience, and she had told you that.
That's right.
But she had not seen it. What was it like for her to see it? And I recognize that as I'm asking you this, it was our network that aired it, but to see it in such a public way and suddenly have this very private moment out there, what was that like for her?
I think it was very disturbing for her. Again, she's never, and she never will get over the treatment that she suffered. If we didn't have that video, I'm sure Sean Combs would have denied that there was any physical incident at the hotel on that day. If she didn't have the pictures and photographs of other incidents, he would have denied those as well. And so obviously the video shows what he did. Her views and the general public views, I think, uniformly were disgusted by what was on that.
What do you think happens next with all of these civil suits? Of course, you do not represent all of them, but now that Sean Combs has been convicted, he's a criminal now. He was found by a jury to have committed 2 federal crimes, but as you said, not the outcome that you were necessarily hoping for. Do you believe that these civil accusers will be scared because he won't be serving life in prison, or do you believe that they will still be emboldened to pursue their claims against him?
Well, I think from a plaintiff's lawyer's perspective, they're probably happy, frankly, that he's not going to be in jail because, he'll have his assets and they'll be able to take his deposition. They'll be able to participate in discovery. If he were in jail, sort of like Harvey Weinstein, those cases have been difficult to get.
And that's another thing. He still got his assets. That's what I'm saying. Like Diddy's still a very wealthy person. Of course, the feds froze his assets until the case was over, but yeah, he's still wealthy, bro. I mean, he might have paid out $250, $300 million to fight this case, but he's still wealthy. That's the thing. He still has his assets. He's still wealthy, and like he said, somebody said earlier, I think it was Pam and Michelle said rebranded. And that's basically what he's going to do. He's going to figure a way to rebrand himself. And the people still going, that's what I'm saying. There's still going to be a lot of people out there that's still going to support Diddy. Now, he might have to move a little different when it comes to dealing with the industry. He might have to move different because cut the freak offs out. Like cut all. Just find you one woman and y'all just freak it out. Like all that prostitution shit or all that shit, leave that shit alone, or just go somewhere where it's legal. If you want to continue to prostitute, go where that shit is legal, bro. I mean, but I think he should chill on all that shit though. Like I said, he gonna be on some rebrand. He gonna definitely be on some rebranding shit. And like we said, America like a good comeback story. They do. America thrive for a comeback story. People forget about shit. People very forgiving. And there's still a lot of people out here that support this nigga Diddy. So I still think he's not too far off as far as like him 100% suffering and shit, like financially and all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. All right, y'all, back to Joe Biden, little brother, man, before we get up out of here.
Compensation for, given his situation. If he had been convicted on RICO, there may have been asset forfeiture along with that as well. So, just from a practical standpoint, not a bad thing for those civil cases. And even if he had been convicted of RICO and/or sex trafficking, that wouldn't have necessarily have helped those other plaintiffs because most likely that sort of evidence would have been excluded from those civil trials anyway. So, net, I don't think there's really. It might even be a positive, frankly, for those other civil lawsuits. I can't really comment on, the strength of those lawsuits. We only have one of them actually pending, but I hope that the ones that are valid all succeed.
And will you be pursuing that one client's claim?
For sure. Yes.
So interesting to hear that perspective. And of course, you represented victims of Harvey Weinstein as well. Now, you're also a former prosecutor. So what do you think we're looking at here for sentencing when it comes to these two convictions. Each carry a maximum term of 10 years. The prosecutors have said that they will be pursuing these 20 years to be served consecutively. What do you think is realistic?
I don't think that I'm really the person that would be as qualified to answer that question. But I know the government feels strongly about seeking whatever maximum term that they can do under not only the federal laws, but also the sentencing guidelines. And in addition, that they feel that some of the other non-acquitted facts that sort of go to bolster their position that he should be sentenced to maximum or consecutive terms, that they will pursue all of those avenues to the extent that they can do so in a legal and plausible way. And so it would be hard for me to ultimately guess, but I would say this, he definitely faces a substantial prison term. And I do believe he's going to be serving years, plural. It would be very difficult for me to gauge how many years, though.
Cassie took the stand for 4 days, and she testified about what, quite frankly, are some of the most embarrassing and traumatic moments of her life, things that she may have wanted to go to the grave with had it not been for testifying in this trial. How difficult was that for her, or what?
I wonder how her husband felt after sitting up there and had to hear all that shit. I mean, first of all, he already seen Cassie in action. As far as like she had the nigga on FaceTime while she was having sex with Diddy, but for him to actually sit up there and hear all that extra shit that came out about his wife, shit that I'm pretty sure she didn't tell that nigga everything. Y'all know how women know how to keep a secret on shit. Like, they ain't gonna tell you everything, nigga. But can you imagine him just sitting up there and hearing that shit, bro? Her husband sitting up there hearing all that shit that she didn't tell him. Like, that shit crazy, bro. Kind of make it maybe. I mean, hey, maybe he one of them type niggas that, probably don't feel no way about it, but I don't see how that's possible when you got to sit up there and hear all that freaky, nasty shit your wife was doing, my nigga. Sleeping with all those prostitutes. Like, you have to feel some type of way. Like, you basically married a hoe, bro. She slept with a lot of prostitutes. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he don't give a fuck. Maybe, he good. They got the 30 million. Maybe he cool. I don't know. But I know how I feel if I had to hear some shit like that about my spouse sleeping with all these prostitutes and shit. Because I'm pretty sure she ain't tell that trainer nigga everything. Impossible. Impossible. But let's continue.
Was it cathartic in some sense?
I think it was both. It was both. It was very difficult, and it was cathartic. If you were in the courtroom and you observed her, I mean, she just answered the questions, I thought, in a very graceful, and I think I'm trying to speak as objectively as possible, I thought, in a forthright manner. I don't believe that the jury disbelieved her in reaching its conclusion. I think the jury ultimately found that the government hadn't met its burden beyond a reasonable doubt under a very complex and difficult statute. And when you think of sex trafficking, sometimes people conjure images of minors and bringing people in from other countries and things like that, and not this sort of behavior, which technically could be argued as sex trafficking. But I think that she, when she filed the civil complaint, she knew that a lot of this would become public. She didn't know at the time that the government would investigate it. But as that process and her preparations for trial ensued, she knew that she would be asked some very personal, detailed questions that she was prepared to do. She knew that she had to do it because she was vested in the process, and she put a lot of time and effort into it.
Mm-hmm. Was there ever a consideration that she wouldn't do this when the government began investigating her claims and asked her to testify? Did she ever say, I don't want to put myself?
There were a lot of times, yeah, Elizabeth. I mean, I think that it was a roller coaster at times. There were certainly days.
Yeah, she didn't want to testify because she didn't want all that shit to come out about herself. Like she just wanted the focus to stay on Diddy. She ain't want to be exposed for all that shit she was doing. That's why she was. But when after the prosecutor, I mean after the you know, the federal government probably saying, you implemented it into a lot of this shit. Like you part of the conspiracy. You was there with. Yeah, I mean, so I feel like the federal government made her testify, or she was gonna face a lot of shit her damn self. Like if you really look at it, she was part of the conspiracy. She engaged in sexual activity with prostitutes for money. She paid prostitutes. She set up freak offs and ordered prostitutes off. I don't know, what was it, Backpage or what's the other shit? One of them damn sites. So she participated in the crime, right? But FEDS gave her immunity for testifying against Diddy. Yeah, it is. So she was part of the criminal conspiracy. Like she ain't want to incriminate herself, and she ain't want all that shit to come out. That her husband was gonna hear all that shit that she did, and she ain't wanted it to be out there in the public. You see how she didn't threaten the dude, Surgeon. What's his name, Surgeon? She threatened this dude to take his life if he even, put the sex tape out. Like so you could tell she didn't want her shit to be out there. I gotta play that again for y'all anyway. Because I be playing that shit because for the people that be thinking Cassie be 1000% innocent and shit, I just be playing this recording just to remind y'all asses. So let me go ahead and play that real quick, and then we can get back into Joe Biden, little brother looking ass nigga. But yeah, let me play this. I always got to revert back to this. Because Cassie a little crazy, manipulating ass woman. I don't know if y'all can hear this or not. Let me know if y'all, matter of fact, you know what, I'm going to just stop it and share it again because sometimes the sound be going out. So let me just go ahead and share this shit again. Real quick. Let me share this. Just to remind y'all asses real quick. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
But would kill him because he's messing with her life.
Yeah, you don't have to see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you. No, I will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull that up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now. You got that pull that up. I'm going to kill you. You don't understand. I don't give a I've never killed anybody in my life, but I will kill you because you're with me. You're with me in my life right now. If I saw a video of you doing anything that you didn't want people to see, I would show you the video so you could tell me what the happened. You're playing games with me, telling me you saw some. Now you're saying you didn't see some. You're with me. I'm going to you up. I don't think you understand. And it's not going to be my hands, and it's not going to be blood on my hands. Someone else is going to do it. So you have to tell me right now, and I'm recording this whole shit. FYI, tell me what the you're talking about. Because this is not cool. We're not playing. I'm not playing with you, Sujit. Like, you saw some yes, you're my brother. Be my brother and tell me what you saw. You're going to be able to find it?
Cassie says she never wanted anyone to watch the video and insists he show her the footage. And a couple times she tells him someone other than her will murder him. The video was screened for jurors May 16th when Cassie was being cross-examined. And the event is from March 2014, and it happened in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Cassie said she approached Sujit after he claimed he'd seen her in a freak-off video.
There y'all go right there. Like I said, Cassie on some mob shit. She on some mafia shit. She said, "I won't be no blood on my hands. I just get somebody to I get somebody to take you out. But yeah, yeah, yeah. You said with the other YouTubers going shit. We just gonna go on to the next. We gonna get into that real shit. You know what I mean? Well, this channel don't struggle with that. We get into the real shit over here anyway. We talk about the truth behind the truth, because we know all this Diddy shit is a big distraction and a bunch of dumb shit. Keep people distracted with the stupid ass shit. And we get into the deep shit over here. So y'all can go ahead and hit that subscribe to this channel, because we get into the deep conversations over here. For y'all that been following us for years, know the shit we really get into the real information. The shit nobody on YouTube talk about. The shit niggas be scared to even touch on, or they just ignorant to it. They just don't know what the F going on. Period. But for y'all that been following us for years, know we get into the real shit over here. But yeah, man, I don't even want to continue with the Joe Biden shit. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I just wanted to, tap in with y'all this morning and let y'all know the federal prosecutors was on some dumb shit. This case was messy as hell. It was stupid. It was a waste of taxpayers' money. And Diddy ain't get life in prison. Is it over for him? It's not over for him by a long shot. Like even his lawyer said in a press conference, it ain't over. It ain't over for him by a long shot. Like even with him getting just the charges he got, he still got to deal with all the civil cases and shit too. Yeah, he still have a lot of pending civil cases against him. Yeah, they said he can get up to 10 years. 20 if they really want to, if the judge really want to be a dick about it, they can give the judge whatever the judge decides. So if the judge want to feel like a dickhead at that day, he could just give Diddy a full 20-year sentence or a full 10-year sentence. Yeah, it depends on how the judge want to play it. You know what I'm saying? The judge could really get on some dickhead shit and really roof this nigga, like roof him, give him 20 years, the max. Yeah. So yeah, we gonna see how this shit play out, y'all. I believe that it definitely ain't over for him by a long shot. Like I said, the federal government really was out for Diddy. They really wanted this nigga, bro, real bad. So they'll go to the lengths to get a person. Like we didn't seen it. They didn't put all types of shit on Michael Jackson, had no evidence of any of that shit. And he still suffered a fate of death. You know what I mean? Like if they want to get you, they gonna get you, bro. Like that's why I feel like even though he didn't get charged with all that shit and he was able to dodge life, I still feel like his life is in danger. And I believe he know his life is in danger. There's some very powerful people that want to see this nigga out the way completely. Yeah, I believe that. I don't know about y'all. I believe that shit, bro. I believe if they want to take this boy out, they would do it. And he is basically it's easy. They have more easier access to him with him being in prison. You know what I'm saying? So now I don't believe that he would take his own life. That's one thing I don't believe. He definitely ain't suicidal. Yeah, he's not suicidal by a long shot. Would they take him out and make it look like an accident? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They make it look like an accident. Or they just make it look like an angry prisoner did it. like they did Tory Lanez, and some Mexican nigga that stabbed him up. Right as soon as the information came out about him, about the bodyguard coming forward, about Kelsey being the one that shot that gun, Tory Lanez got stabbed up the very next day. Do you think that's a coincidence that that information came out and he got stabbed up? I don't know, y'all. It should be kind of strange. Yeah, he can get out early with good behavior and shit like that. Yeah, time served, good behavior. Yeah, but like I said, if the judge really want to be a dick about it, they will give him 10 years. Right, Barry Jones, you say he ain't tell on no people. Right, Diddy ain't tell on nobody. Shit, Ghislaine Maxwell, she ain't tell on nobody. Epstein ain't tell on nobody. Shit, Harvey Weinstein ain't even tell on nobody. And we know R. Kelly ain't tell on nobody. R. Kelly just said, fuck it. He's no. And shit, like I told bro the other day, reason why they was able to find a technicality in Bill case. And first of all, Bill Cosby case was a state case. It wasn't federal. So it was a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like they was able to find a technicality and Bill got out and he didn't really have to go through all the dumb shit the feds, the tricks of the trade or what the feds be doing. Because Bill Cosby shit was a state case. But R. Kelly shit, federal. Harvey Weinstein shit was federal. Ghislaine and Epstein shit was federal. Diddy shit was federal. And we still want to know where the real Epstein list at. F all this Sean Diddy shit. Where are we still calling it out? Where's the real Epstein list? Because we know the federal government gave us that bullshit ass surface level Epstein list. Where's the real Epstein list? So you mean to tell me Ghislaine and Epstein go to jail and shit? Epstein ends up dead. Ghislaine doing 22 years. And nobody on that Epstein list are not being prosecuted? Yeah. Shit crazy. I don't. Oh yeah, but I was about to say Frank Lucas, but I forgot he from South Carolina. By the way of Harlem. Barry Jones said Harlem folks don't tell. I don't know about that because Alpo definitely from Harlem. And Alpo did a lot of goddamn talking. Actually, Alpo did too much goddamn talking. Nicky Barnes did too much goddamn talking. Yeah. Frank Lucas did too much goddamn talking. These is Harlem folks. Harlem folks do a lot of talking, bro. I gotta disagree with you on that, Barry Jones. There's a lot of big time niggas out of there been talking. That nigga Frank Lucas. But the difference is about Frank Lucas though. He didn't tell on no criminals. He told on the police. The criminal ass police. So I don't know. Frank Lucas might get a little bit of pass in my book as far as the snitching thing, because he told on some police. And rightfully so. You shouldn't be a police and doing crime any damn way. So I can't give Frank Lucas a little pass. And then they said Diddy dad was tough. See, Barry Jones, you got chill, bro. Melvin Combs was an informant for the FBI, bro. That's why they know Diddy. That's why the feds know Diddy so much, because who his dad was. Like, you gotta remember, they already knew who Diddy was since he was a small baby. You forgot, Melvin Combs was a big-time drug dealer in Harlem. Worked with mafia. He was working with the mafia. He was working with the Genovese family, Gambino family, Frank Lucas, Nicky Barnes, all dealing with all them niggas, right? He became a federal informant. That's why he got killed in the car. That's why he got left for dead in the car. So they already knew Melvin Combs. They already knew who Diddy was before Diddy became the big person that he was, before he became Diddy the mogul, or the Diddy the superstar, or Diddy the rapper, Diddy the producer. The feds already knew who this nigga was, bro. So you realize, so you don't think they was like, ain't that Melvin Combs' son right there on TV? Yeah, let's check and see what this guy into. And I believe the feds approached Diddy very early on in his career because of who his dad was. So they already knew. So they already knew who this nigga was. I think he was dealing with the feds early on, just the fact that Melvin Combs was who he was. I mean, that's my opinion on this shit. I mean, I don't know what anybody else think. I mean, that's just from my observation of looking into all this shit. And he said Frank Matthews was their boss. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They already knew who Sean Combs was before he became a big time entertainment producer / artist / mogul. The feds already knew who he was, bro. Like the feds already knew who Tupac was. Because his mother walked in the courtroom and beat a case with no representation. You think they ain't know who the F Tupac was? As soon as they seen his ass on TV coming up in the entertainment world, they say, shit, ain't that Afeni son? Ain't that Matulu Shakur's stepson and shit? They already profiled Tupac ass. As soon as they seen his ass coming up, they profiled his ass. They say, oh, that's Afeni son. That's Matulu stepson or son. Well, they wouldn't even consider him being a step. They would say that's his son. Hey, they knew who Tupac was before he even came up, bro. And they know a lot of these niggas is before they become somebody. I just call it what it is, bro. But I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here, man. I enjoy having y'all here. Appreciate y'all for sliding through. You know what I mean? And on the live stream, man. Y'all know we gonna be back live. Definitely come back with some more shit. But definitely subscribe to this channel, man. Let me see if we hit 90K yet. We should be at 90K by now. We almost at 90K subs, man. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to this channel, man. Smash that like button. I mean, shop with us at our herbal website too. 9dayherbals.com. 35% off. I mean, you also get some free shit with your order too. So you get 35% off and some free shit with your order. So check us out, man. 9dayherbals.com. And yeah, man, catch y'all niggas on the next live stream, bro. Appreciate y'all, man. And on that note, about to go and get up out of here, man. Peace.
Shop now at nightandayherbals.com and enjoy 35% off all our herbal CBD products. Automatically applied at checkout.